Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully created one of the database and also we configured this database with our Laravel project, right? Great. So now in this video I want to install Laravel another default authentication. If you want to install the default authentication package, simply go to that Laravel official website again, and here you have to go to that packages, and as I told you, in Laravel they have the different type of default authentication. You can use that Breeze, you can also use that as a JDStream. But a lot of students ask me about it. JDStream is little complicated, so for that reason I want to install that Breeze, because here also we will create as a multi authentication system. So I hope Breeze will be very much helpful to you, and that will be also very easy. So now if you go to the packages, simply go to that Breeze, and into the Breeze area right now, first of all, that is our Breeze default interface, and now I want to install it. Like that is installation process. And now we have to copy it. Okay, so that will be as a composer, and then Laravel Breeze, and Deb is the developer mode. I'll copy it. And now in our project, so you can also now run it from here. Like right now our PHP Artisan serve is running, make that sure here you have to run that PHP Artisan serve. You can also now create another new terminal. Okay, here you can create on the new terminal, so that will be our another terminal. And also right now I'm using that Visual Studio Code editor. From here, if you also want to create on the new terminal, simply go to that new terminal, then that will be loaded in here. And you can see that is the same things. That is a project 6, and that is a real estate folder. So you can write down all that command from to this area, rather than you can also write down all that command from here. Okay, I have shared both of this with you. Like right now, better I want to use this one. Here I want to install that Breeze. So that will be our first job. Here we have to run it. I want to run it, and now click as the enter. Now that will be downloaded all that file from to the internet again. It's very light one of the package. It should be installed very fastly. Okay, here you can see it's now downloaded all the things from to the internet. You can see it's downloaded. Everything is done. Here you don't need to wait a long time. That is successfully done. So Laravel, our Breeze is installed successfully. So when Laravel Breeze will be installed, after that we have to publish it. That means here there is a PHP Artisan Breeze, then we have to install. So when you install it, then it will be created some of the file. I show you, like here it will be created. Like right now we don't need it. I close it. In our app, into the app HTTP, here it should be now created some of the folder as a auth folder, our authentication. That means if you go to that routes and into the web routes, here it should be created another default some of the route, and also into the resources area it should be created some of the page. That means some of the view page. I show you, like right now I want to simply again run our another command as a PHP Artisan Breeze install. Okay, I want to copy it, and now again if you go here, I have already installed the Breeze, and now we have to publish. That means PHP Artisan Breeze install. And now if you click as enter, now you can see it's now that is also updated in Laravel 10. Here it should be ask you some of the question, which Slack would you like to install. Okay, here right now I'm using that blade syntax. So here also I want to make it a little bit late here. So now, sorry, here that will be the 100%, right? I want to make it as 100%, and now that will be ask you some of the question like as a blade rather than React, Vue, and API. So some of the time, if you want to also install that blade or React at a time, you can run both of this as a 0 rather than 1. And right now I want to install only that blade. So if you want to add that as a blade, then that will be as a blade. Okay, that will be as a blade, or rather than you can also use it only as a 0. Okay, then that will be also fine. Right now I name it as a blade. Now click as a enter. And now our another question is, would you like to install the dark mode support? Right now it's totally fine. I make it as a no. And then the PHP unit also I better make it as a no. Okay, now click as a enter. Now you can see there's a installing the building that node dependency. So it may take little time. Now all that our default files that I discuss about that things with you, now that will be actually created. Now I want to check it. If you now go to your project again in our web.php, here you can see now that is actually created another some of the route. So that is all the default things is now included in your project. Now that is our route. That means when you successfully log in, you will be able to access the dashboard, and that will be return view. Another dashboard is created. They have some of the profile page, that is the edit profile, the update profile, distro profile. That is everything actually ready-made, and also it's created another new controller as a profile controller, which is fine. And now if you go, I show you now, if you go to that app HTTP in our controller, here you can see now it's created one of the new folder as a auth, and that is all the default file. Okay, that is all the default file is now created. And also if you now go to that our public into the, sorry, not the public, in our resources, if you go to that resources view, and you can see here also it's now created some of the component that is all the default component, and also it's created another folder as a auth folder. So into the auth folder, they have it's now created one of the confirm password page, the forget password page, locking page, register page, reset password, verify email. Everything is ready-made in here. Okay, great. And that is the another page as a dashboard. Now if you go to your project, into the project, now if you click as a refresh, now you can see now our authentication is ready-made. So now there is a login and there is a register. So now if you go to that login, and to the login, you can see it's now successfully created. There is email, password, and also if you go to that our register, now that will be our register page. So that is actually all the page actually comes from here. That is our view, auth, and that is a login page, that is a register page. Okay, great. Now friend, I want to also create one of the multi authentication system. That means that will be actually multiple user able to access it, like as a admin will be able to access it, another vendor or agent will be able to access it, and also user will be able to access it. So that will be actually multiple user can able to access that same authentication. I want to create this type of one of the functionality. So for that reasons here, after that we have to actually migrate it. So when you migrate in Laravel, they have some of the default database table. Like if you go to right now in our database, into the database there is a migration. So into the migration they have some of the default table. Okay, here you can see there is some of the default table as a user, password, failed. So that will be generated all that our table in our database. Now in our user table, if you go into the user table, by default they are using that name, email verify add, and then password. So right now friend, here I want to also included another some of the field. Then that will be actually helpful, because as I told you, I want to create one of the multi-user authentication system. So here for that reasons, better I want to take another field. Okay, better I copy it, and I want to take another field and I paste it. I want to take another one like as a username. Okay, that will be as a username, another field, and this field also I make it as a string. And also I want to better make it as a nullable. Okay, nullable. So that will be as a nullable. I want to better make it as a nullable. Great. Nullable means if this field don't have any data, it should be not give you any error. Okay, for the reasons here I make it as a nullable. Great. And also I want to actually create that multiple field. Like I want to add another one. I want to better copy this one. Okay, I copied. After that, password, that is actually the default one will be needed as a name, email, password will be needed. Now I want to create another field as a username, and after that I want to better paste it. Okay, I want to add that multiple one because that will be also needed. I want to take another field like as a photo. Okay, photo, photo. So photo also I make it as a nullable. Great. I want to take another field as a phone. I want to take another one as an address, and address I want to make it as a text type. Okay, and then actually you can add that multiple data in here, that means multiple character data in here. So that is another field name. I take it as an address. Great. So photo, phone, address, and then I want to assign another things as a role. Okay, role will be also needed. So I make it as a role. So by this role we can actually manage all that our multi-user authentication. Like for the role here, I want to do here that will be not nullable here, but I want to remove it. So I want to do into the role area. So okay, into the role area I want to create the different type of user. like here, which type of the user you want to create, you can actually assign it. Here I want to assign it, first of all, that will be as an admin. That will be one type of the user. And also I want to take another one. I want to take another one as a agent. Okay, that will be as an agent. And also I want to take another one that will be as a user. Great. So right now they have the three role. One is the admin, another is the agent, another will be as a user. And when any user will be registered, by default, which user you want to create. So by default, I want to make it as a user. Okay, so for the reasons here, after that, I just simply want to allocate the default. Okay, default, and default will be which one? Default will be in here as a user. Okay, I hope everything is very much clear to you. Here I simply take the three. So one will be as a admin, another will be as a agent, another will be as a user. So by default, I want to allocate as a user. Okay, and also I want to take another field as a status. Okay, status, status, status. Great. And for the status, I also want to do the same things. Here right now I want to do better I want to copy this one. Okay, I copy it because that will be also a little bit same. I paste it. Now our field name as a status, so that will be the status. And status here I want to take two things. So one will be as active, or either then that will be as inactive. Okay, I make it as inactive, so that will be as inactive. Great. So that's all. That will be two type of one of the status, rather than that will be as an active user, rather than that will be as an inactive user. And our default will be, I want to make it as a default user will be as active. Okay, great. That's all. Now I have actually added some of the field in here as a username, name, email, the photo, phone, address, the role. Okay, the status as active, inactive. By default that will be as a active, and that is two of this field. I want to use it as ename. That is also another type. I want to use it as a enum. Okay, that is enum, and also that will be as enum. Great. So that's all. Okay, that's all we needed. I better right now I want to remove both of these. Friend, that's all. Okay, so I simply added some of the field in particular that position. So right now we can able to migrate it. If you click as a save all, okay, I click as a save all, and now also you have to update in our user, that means in our model area. If you go to that model, into the model, Laravel also provided by default one of the model as a user model. So into the user model, you can see before that was actually the email name, email, and then password, right? Here also you have to make it as a protected fillable. That means this field should be as a fillable by the data. So I have actually added that multiple field in here right now. Right, so for the reasons, if you want to make all that field as a fillable, then they have also another easy way you can do this work. Then you have to make it as a protected guarded. Okay, right now I want to remove it. I simply remove it. That will be as a protected, and then the guarded, guarded. Okay, that will be as a protected guarded, and protected guarded will be empty. Empty means that will be now whatever the data you have, that means how many field you have, every field will be now as a fillable. So make that sure you make it as a protected guarded in our user. Great. So friend, that's all you have to do. Now after that we are able to migrate, and then all that field will be added. If you now go to our database, right now our database is totally empty. If you now go, I want to migrate by this command as a php artisan migrate. Okay, so I better copy it, and now if you go there, right now breeze installed, and now after that I want to migrate it. If you now click as a enter, yes, you can see our migration, all the database table is now successfully created. Now if you go to our database, now if you go to that structure, yes, you can see all that our default database table is created in our database, because I have already connected this database with our Laravel project. And if you now go to that our user, into the user area, you can see that is actually all that field actually created, right? I have created, so that they have some of the default field name as a name. Now I have added another one as a username, and then the photo, the phone, address, the role, status. Great. So that is actually all that our default field, okay, default field, and then there is a time spent. So by default that will be actually created and updated that. So here we successfully done this job. So that is our user. Okay, great. So now friend, in our next video I want to do, as I told you, I want to create that multi-user authentication system. So for the multi-authentication user authentication system, first of all I want to seed some of the data in our database table. Okay, so into this database table area, I want to seed some of the data. So how to do this work? Better I want to continue this process. In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.